What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with season 9, episode 7 of Sisters. Y'all, Cutting Ties is the name of the episode. Before I start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like the video so I can stay in the algorithm. Okay? Also, if y'all like the episode or not, let me know what y'all think down below. I thought the episode was pretty good. There are some, I'm pretty sure we all was a little agitated by a scene or two. Okay? And we gonna get that later. Alright? I promise y'all this video won't be colorful. So we gonna do good today. Alright? So Zach talk, he's out. We pick up where Zach has arrived at Karen's house. So they sit down, they have a chit chat. Zach immediately gets emotional, and as he's talking to Aaron, he daps Aaron off. They embrace each other. He told Aaron congratulations. It was just a nice exchange between. I'm actually loving the exchanges between Zach and Aaron these days, because at first it was way too much for my liking. I started to get annoyed, but I'm liking their exchange. So Karen asks Zach why is he here, and Karen feels like he said he didn't know. So as Zach is explaining, he was like, I don't know. I just got in my car and drove, and I just ended up here. And so they talk, and Karen feels like she's walking around in somebody else's bad dream. So Zach tells her that baby Faith is beautiful and is a miracle. He also asks, can he hold her? And Karen, she was like, yes. And baby Faith is crying at this moment. And so you can see Karen heart breaking, and you can see her grieving, and you can see her extremely emotional. And Zach is asking questions. So he's like, do you think she's feeling what we feel? Do you think she noticed the loss of the other baby? Like, she can't answer those questions, but it just makes her cry. So Aaron comes to get the baby, and soothes the baby, brings the baby in the room. Now I've noticed how much Faith does cry, but I think that comes with the detachment of the withdrawal that Karen has created between her and this baby, and she really need to start bonding with her baby. But again, I think it's gonna come in due time. Anyway, Zach, I'm sorry, I had to pause because I was like, where am I? So Zach, he asked Karen, he was like, can we have a real conversation? And he starts out by asking her how she's doing. He was like, because baby Faith was crying, and he noticed that she didn't respond. And so Zach also tells Karen that Aaron is a solid dude, and that he's also a good dude. And he also tell her that Faith really need her mom, and she can't get stuck where she is right now, and that baby Faith really needs her. And I was glad for that, because I think that's the jolt that Karen needed. And as much as I appreciate her friends coming, but also Danny was the jolt that Karen also needed. Just like everybody who came to Zach, they were what he needed. So Karen told Zach that, we are no longer tied to each other. And Karen apologized to Zach for everything. And he was like, no, you don't have to do that. And at this point, it really wasn't necessary. But we did have to, talk about the elephant in the room, and they are no longer connected. The baby is not connecting them. They both have solid people in their life. And I think that them moving on and us finally being released from the Karen and Zach of it all is very refreshing, and for them to actually be friendly and be cordial. So I'm okay with this. As long as it doesn't go down a negative rabbit hole that we don't want. But I'm okay with this. So then we get a montage of Karen and Zach, and I was like, this was really toxic, because he was like, you don't have to apologize, and we just get this montage of them arguing, and her talking to him crazy. It was not the best. So they had to break up. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, they needed to break up. In order for them to be better, they had to be better apart. It happens. I'm okay with this. So in the next scene, Dr. Vaughn called Andy. And y'all know Dr. Vaughn's first name is Reginald. So Reginald was like, I'm thinking about, told Andy that he was thinking about her. And I just want to let Tyler know that I thought we discussed that Andy didn't need a male friend, a male nothing, but she needs him a long time. I thought we discussed that, but it's obvious that you ain't hearing us, but she don't need a man right now. Every season is always a man. Okay? Can we, especially for her, okay, we know that she is so irresistible. All right? Her and this damn Bob. Yeah, no. So she decided, he asked her to, they was going to meet up later in the week. She was like, well, I'm busy later in the week, but can we meet tonight? But Andy, you knew you was going to your friend Karen's house. So why would you agree to meet with this man for drinks? Why? When you're supposed to be in support of your friend. But I also understand that Andy needs her support too, because of what she's been through. But here's the thing. Everybody don't know what happened. I don't think, or did I miss that? Or did I forget? Anyway, so in the law office, still in the law office, Duncan, he just over Hayden, because at this point Hayden is being a groupie. And Fatima walked Duncan out of the office. Y'all know he's another ball player who came to have Fatima look at his contracts, because Fatima is pretty good at that. So back over at Zach and Karen, she said they had good times. So we get a montage of them having good times, and it was 3 or 4 different scenes of them sleeping together. That was not a good time. That was y'all sleeping together. Okay? The flashback further lets us know that y'all needed to break up. Anyway, back at the law office, Tamara show up. Girl, why are you here? Ho, why is you here? I said I wasn't going. But why is you here, ho? Why? And so she started to flirt with Duncan. Girl, go by your husband, okay? So Fatima tells Tamara, tell him that Tamara is a thought pocket, and you mess with her, you're going to get herpes simplex 10. Is it simplex 10? And so Tamara goes into Hayden's office and tell him, listen, I don't want to be with you no more. He was like, the past is the past. She was like, I don't believe you, because what if you start thinking about me and about Gary again, and then you get mad and want to do some underhanded, sneaky, conniving type to me? All right? He was like, I'm not going to do that. Okay. She tells him, listen, I don't want to be with you no more. I don't love you no more. Have you ever loved him? I don't think you ever loved him, but whatever. I don't think Tamara is capable, or Hayden is capable of love. They are incapable of loving people. They don't even love themselves. So how are you guys going to love each other? So anyway, Hayden tells her there are plenty of women that want to take her spot. Baby, where are they? Where are they? I haven't seen them. you know, he definitely treats Tamara horribly. He treats her like she's a $5 hoe. Now I know I just called this lady a thought pocket, but still, that's supposed to be your wife. And you know, I'm sorry. It's just, it is what it is. So Sabrina and Maurice, right? I just want to say that I am not taking this whole phase that Sabrina have any serious. Not at the moment. All right. So Andy walks into the room where the conference room where Fatima was, looking over the contracts, and Andy was like, you know, as Fatima tell her that, you know, homeboy sent another player over so she could look over the contracts, and Andy's face, like literally turned up, like, and I'm looking at Andy like, I know the hell you lying. And she tells what did she tell? She tells Fatima, she throws shade towards Fatima and was like, you gonna need that if you pass the bar, or something to that effect. And I'm looking at her like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Like, when I tell y'all I was so aggravated, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get mad. But let's just point this out, because Fatima has always had your back, even when you and her wasn't friends. When we met Fatima with the big booty and them little dresses, she had your back. She had your back. If it had not been for her, you wouldn't have never been partner, and Robin would have taken your job. Let's be clear. She's always had your back. She taught you how to fight. Can we just go back last season where she taught you how to fight? She turned the GPS on. If she had not turned the GPS on, you probably wouldn't be alive. That was just an episode or two a season ago, okay? Ma'am, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Andy wants Fatima to constantly be in her shadow, always protecting her. No, ma'am. And I just didn't like Andy's energy towards Fatima, and I just felt like she just had too much dip in her chip. Like, ma'am, what are we doing? This is supposed to be your friend. She's good enough to be your sidekick, but you feel like in this moment, because she's doing really well with these contracts, you try to downplay her. I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, I don't know if this Bob is a little bit too tight for you, because ma'am, you've been showing up a little different since this little season been going, but I ain't gonna hold you or whatever. I don't know if that night had a lot, you know, being kidnapped had a lot to do with your attitude, but ma'am, you need to get you some help, and you need to talk about it. Stop being superwoman talking about you're fine, and you are not fine. So Andy lets her know that she's leaving, and she lied to Fatima about meeting Reginald. And I'm like, so when did you start lying to Fatima? Now, Fatima, y'all already know Fatima picked up what Andy was putting down. So with that being said, she knew you probably was gonna go meet that man. She probably had an inkling, but it just wasn't important, because at the forefront of her mind, you being weird. Okay, you are being weird right now, and I don't like that shade. I don't like how you was talking to Fatima. I don't like how you was talking to her. Okay. Anyway, Zach and Karen, they finally get the closure that they needed. And, well, they didn't say, but that's what we gonna call it as the viewers. So, Aaron was in the room with the baby, and he was smiling because they was able to really talk. And we felt like, me as the viewer feels like this conversation was much needed. Like, not just for them to have closure, but for Karen to finally get up. Like, we need you up. We need you up. You have a baby. So Tamara, she seen Fatima outside going to her car, and she was like, She tells Fatima, and it wasn't nothing here. She just told Fatima she won't be around no more. And she gave her a card to her new business. And I was like, okay, girl. Hopefully we really don't see you no more, and you can take your husband with you. So Andy and Danny knocks on. They come over to Karen's house. Erin let the ladies know that she wasn't talking, she wasn't eating, she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't with the baby or anything like that. But she really started talking when Zach came along, and so they was like, oh, Zach was here. And they sit at the table. They're sitting at the table with, they tell Karen, we're here, yada, yada, yada. And then we get to the next scene. So we have all of these different men trying to talk to Sabrina. And Paige is somewhat over there in that corner trying to talk to some dark chocolate man. All right. And so we see at this point, as in real time, the pickings are slim, and it's definitely formaldehyde in the dating pool and piss in the dating pool. Okay. And so the last man, it was so bad. I don't know if that was yellow teeth or goals. I think it was yellow teeth, but his breath was terrible. And I was like, my God, like, Sabrina, go home, friend. All right. So even in a caption, if y'all had y'all closed caption on watching this episode, the closed caption called the man Dragon Bread. I said that is so shady. Anyway, back over at Karen's, before she goes to see the girl, she thanks Erin for everything. And she smiled at Erin. She was like, thank you. She didn't give him a hug or anything like that, but I wouldn't imagine. Because homegirl, let's be clear, homegirl ain't brush her teeth or her is in a couple days. Okay? So, yeah. And she's still in pain. So we still got to give Karen this grace, y'all. So her, Danny, and Karen are sitting at the table. And, Danny asked Karen, how are you doing? We know everything is a little difficult. But how are you doing? And so she said that she responded. And I think this is where Andy's phone went off and she's texting. And so they was like, well, Danny was like, well, who is that? And she was like, oh, I have to meet a client. And she was like, this time of night, no, you probably going to meet some man. And so she gets up and she leave. And when she got up and left, the way Karen looked at her, it wasn't in an angry way. It was more in a disappointed way, because you agreed to come over here. You wanted to come over here. You suggest that we come over. Or was it, it could have been Danny. But you still agreed, which I felt like you shouldn't have met that man for drinks and you knew you needed to be with your friend. Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know what Andy finna start doing, but she better not get on our nerves. And I just feel like you ditching your friend for some Zeke. Okay? And Karen, to me, again, she looked disappointed, y'all. I don't know. So Karen is still having a hard time embracing baby Faith. And at this point, Danny really shows up for Karen. So she was like, listen, are those the same clothes you had on from the hospital, girl? And so Karen was like, mm-hmm. And she was like, okay. She was like, let me take you somewhere. Let me help you. All right. So somebody mentioned, and I wanted to point this out, somebody on Twitter mentioned how Danny and Karen was never at the best place a long time ago. Even like they were still at odds, even sometime, I think in the beginning of last season, they was tripping. And now you see Danny going above and beyond for Karen. Like, she is really showing up for Karen. Like, I feel like Danny is the MVP so far of the friend group. Okay? So, yes. I wanted to let y'all know. And another thing, y'all can, I need y'all to stop having Andy talk to these women as if she's trying to mother them. Because as they're sitting at the table, Karen just couldn't eat. She didn't have an appetite. And so you see Andy saying, Karen, we, bitch, shut up. I said I was not. I said I was, but she was just pissing me off. The bob was pissing me off. Them lips was pissing me off. She was pissing me off. Karen, you girl, you need to get out of my face. Okay, don't you have somewhere to go? Don't you have somewhere to go? Don't you have some man to go get under? Please leave. All right. So I just wanted to point that out because I forgot to point that out a moment ago. So yeah. So Danny takes Karen right on in that shower because she needed a shower. So Maurice run down Sabrina's slim pickings, right? He said first you had Chester polyester. He said then you had cheaper to keeper. Or then don't forget dirt box. Oh, and glasses. Don't forget glasses. And yeah, we can't forget Musty Mouth. I was like, really, Maurice? Musty Mouth. So, Maurice tell her, listen, you got to be patient. And then once somebody come, the person that you meant to go take home for the night, you ain't go take them home and let them, And I'm just looking at Maurice like, ugh, don't know about, everybody don't want to be pounded. Okay, Maurice? So Paige, let me tell y'all, Paige is smart. I like Paige. I like the way she think. Okay? So Paige was like, girl, don't you take these men home. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So then Maurice called, what's her name? Paige John Benet Ramsey. I can't stand Maurice. Okay? So as Sabrina was picking something off the floor because she dropped something because she had to go to the restroom, Unc came. Unc picked that right up. Unc, aka Frank Gibbons. All right, baby. When I tell you he was a silver fox, okay, introduced himself. I'm Frank Gibbons. She was like, I'm Sabrina, and Rich. Stupid face decide he want to walk in, got an attitude. Sir, this lady don't want to be with you. Okay, Tyler, listen. I ask for a lot of things, and I feel like sometimes I have the audacity when I ask for said things, but I'm coming to you with the greatest of all audacities and asking you, get Rich up out of here. Okay, Jordan ain't here, Rich ain't here, and we need to take Tony and Penelope. They can go. There is nothing here for them. Okay, we don't want them here. We already have Gary somewhere over the rainbow, but he's somewhere, and he gonna come from wherever he at. Okay, and another thing, if you gonna bring in Dr. Vaughn, okay, please let him not have all these issues. He crazy. He attached to his sister. Like living with his grandmother, married. Okay, listen. We gonna have to do something. We are gonna have to do something. Okay, Andy needs some help. She don't need a man. All right. So this is where the episode ended. So what we gonna see next week is Rich coming in, telling the old man, you need to step off, talking about Sabrina, let's go home. Sir, he pissed me off this week. So this gonna go into next week because I'm gonna be pissed off just looking at his face. Okay? And then Andy pissed me off tonight. And Sabrina, I mean not Sabrina, what's her name? Paige is gonna invite her brother to meet Maurice. Maurice said he has met his white quota for life. And so I feel like Paige's brother is fine, like Preston fine. That's what I think. Because y'all know Tyler always got these fine brothers somewhere laying around. Okay, I don't know. He always find a fine brother laying around somewhere, right? And I just want to know. Let me know what y'all think at the bottom, because last week Miss Lisa left to go make some groceries. Y'all know I'm from New Orleans, so we say make groceries, okay? She went to the grocery store, okay? She went to Publix, okay? That's out in y'all in Atlanta. We ain't got no Publix out here, but I heard about Publix. So Miss Lisa done went to Publix. Listen, Miss Lisa, we gonna come back with these groceries, okay? We sent you to the store. No, you took yourself to the store to go make groceries. Baby, Miss Lisa said, I can't take Karen right now. I need to go lay down, decompress, and then I'm gonna come back with a couple of groceries, a couple of bags of groceries. All right? All right. Anyway, I really thought this I really thought this episode was good, y'all. So let me know what y'all think at the bottom. Let me know what y'all think about Zach and Karen's conversation. Let me know what y'all think how Danny has stepped up tonight for Karen. Let me know what y'all think about Andy downplaying Fatima, or her talking to Karen like she a kid, or even just leaving Karen, not trying to be there for Karen to go meet up with this man, even though she knew initially she was gonna go meet Karen. She already had that plan. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, girl. Them people got you showing up like a little hater, okay? Yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the episode, and I will come back. Sorry, y'all. Y'all will see me tomorrow, of course, with the Real Housewives of Miami, as well as all the Queen's Men. So I will see y'all on tomorrow. All right.